Ms. Peterson? Here. Mr. Cryer?
Here.
Mr. Rujo?
Here.
Mr. Harrison?
Here.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
You have
On a quick information update, before we get into the items on the agenda, we had a situation where we got hacked back about a year and a half ago. We didn't get hacked, the contractor got hacked, and basically what happened is we sent them a wire money transaction, and it was by somebody that was not legitimate. And as you might have saw breaking news, it said City of Westlake's audit showing $64,000 roughly was taken from the City of Westlake by this person. Well, here's the good news. That person has been caught and is going to be extradited back to Southwest Louisiana to stand prosecution. So we're thrilled with that. Hopefully, we'll have some mechanism of getting our money back, but I don't know if we will or not, but he will have to pay for his criminal actions. Mr. Milton.
I would just like to state in the article, in the news, it stated that Westlake auditor found it. When we found it, we immediately called our auditors. I called the FBI, I called the city, I gave it to I called our city chief, and we also called, and he called the sheriff department when they came that day. So just kind of wanted to straighten that out for the record.
Yeah, I'd like to commend the actions of our staff that did everything they needed to do to respond to this immediately. We were at the Louisiana Municipal Convention in February, and they have a whole group of people that now take care of cyber crime. And we got all those relationships, and we're watching very closely that something like this never happens again in the City of Westlake. But they're out there, and they're very, very stealth on what they do, so just please be careful. With that being said, I am honored to have a citizen here tonight in the audience. Tristan Goodley, Westlake High School 2023 Division II Indoor State Champion Long Jump and Triple Jump Champion. To win a state championship is a major accomplishment, and he's making all of Westlake very proud. With that being said, I have a guy that's coached kids all of his life and has watched this kid pretty much grow up. I'm gonna ask Freddie Harrison to say a few words about Tristan.
So I'm just speak loud. I'm not gonna use the mic. Tristan does a great job, and his family does a great job. And always go back to his dad, mom, always been great athletes. Family been great athletes. His brother was a great athlete. All were state champs. So for him to be a state champ is not out of the norm. It's in the family, it's in the genes. So we just want to make sure that we commend Tristan, tell him congratulations. Done a great job. For people that don't know, he almost won the state meet by himself with 20 points. So if he had maybe 2 more people with him, Westlake would be a state champ indoor track team. So Coach Hudson doing a great job with the kids. We want to say thank you and congratulations, Tristan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The mayor and council would like to take a picture with you as we present this to you.
I don't need it.
It's my official spot.
Okay. Place
It's a good corner.
Are you blocking her camera, Jerry?
Sorry about that.
While I got him here, I'm gonna make him say a few words. Step down.
Yeah, you too.
Not only a great track athlete, but a great football athlete. Talk a little bit about I'm very excited that you've signed with Southeastern. Maybe give us some of the outline of what it's like to become a college athlete.
I think it's very exciting. I put in a lot of hard work to get to this point in my life, and I just want to thank everybody that helped me get to this point.
Well, you're making Westlake very proud. Congratulations. Thank you. Appreciate it. God bless you. All right.
Congratulations.
Say Southeastern.
Under consent calendar, I need a motion and a second to approve the meetings, regular meeting, January 23rd, 2020. I got a motion by Ms. Peterson and a second by Mr. Crowder. Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that motion carries. Discussion under action items. We're very happy to have our near neighbor, folks that employ a lot of people here in Southwest Louisiana. We're gonna call up Ms. Sarah Hughes for a presentation on the future of Sasol. And she has with her one of her vice presidents, Eric Walker's here also. So Sarah?
Good evening, everyone. As Hal mentioned, my name is Sarah Hughes. I am the manager of stakeholder relations for Sasol, based here at our Westlake site. I'll start by thanking all of you for having us here tonight. For those of you I haven't met, I hope we get to meet soon, but we appreciate the time. We're gonna try not to take up too much of your time, but we really just wanted to take a few minutes this evening to, it's been a while since we've been in front of the city council, so we wanted to take a few minutes to update you on what's happening at our site, but also talk a little bit about future plans. Before we get into it, just a reminder that not to make any financial or trading decisions based on what we say here tonight. The lawyers make me say it. With that, we're gonna do a quick overview. I'm gonna talk a little bit about some impacts that we've been making, and then I'll turn it over to Eric. But I think most of you are familiar with some of the big numbers that came from our mega project. So the total price tag of that project ended up being about $13 billion. Through the course of the project, we brought on about 800 direct jobs. We spent about $4.3 billion with Louisiana-based businesses. But I really want to stress that the economic impacts from that project did not end when we completed it in 2020. I think we're just getting started, really. So I'm going to highlight a few other things. We have currently at our site, between Sasol and our joint venture with LyondellBasell, we have about 1,200 employees. The majority of those employees live in Calcasieu Parish. They carry about a average $85,000 annual salary. We, in 2021, so post-project, just normal course of business, we still spent about $45 million with Louisiana-based businesses. And then we spent another $18.6 million in sales, use, property, and payroll taxes. Near and dear to my heart, and what I'm really most proud of, is what we refer to as our social investment program. So in 2022, we spent about $900,000 with local area nonprofits. We're very fortunate to be able to partner with some of those organizations and help make impacts with some of the great programs they have. And then we also spent another $60,000 with what we refer to as employee-directed charitable contributions. So we have a great employee match program that allows our employees to direct a portion of our charitable contributions to those area nonprofits. With that, I'm gonna turn it over to our Vice President of Operations, Eric Walker. He's gonna talk a little bit more about our site overview and kind of the current state of Sasol. And then we really wanna share with you guys what we're calling the future of Sasol and answering the sustainability call.
Thank you, Mayor and Council and Administration for having us here tonight. It's great to be here to talk about the future of Sasol. As Sarah mentioned, I'm Vice President of Operations. I'm accountable for our site here in Southwest Louisiana, as well as our operations in Texas and Arizona. I've been with Sasol over 20 years, all of it located here at the site. But for me, when Sarah talks about the numbers and the social investment, it's more than just being an employee. I'm a Lake Charles native, born and raised in Lake Charles area. I'm a proud graduate of McNeese State University in engineering. And so that investment in my community means a lot to me. It's fair to say that the Southwest Louisiana site for Sasol remains the crown jewel of our company globally. And so I'm excited to be able to be here tonight to talk to you a little bit about what our future plans are for the site. I do want to start with a bit of a refresher overview for the site for those that may not be as familiar with it. And so here we go. Most of you have seen the tremendous growth in our site in the last decade with the Lake Charles Chemicals Project, or LCCP. The original site location is that shaded area in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. We've expanded the site to the west and northwest with the LCCP. We were proud to close the project out at the end of 2020 at close to $13 billion investment here in Southwest Louisiana. Also at the end of 2020, Sasol initiated a joint venture partnership with LyondellBasell. So LyondellBasell is now the operator of 3 of those operating production units, the 2 polymer units and the cracker, as well as the utilities. The joint venture is called Louisiana Integrated Polyethylene, or LIP, and it's in the dark blue. The LIP boundary is in the dark blue shaded area in the center of the screen. The site, everything you see shaded in the blue, the whole site, including the joint venture site, takes up about 2,100 acres. But only 1,100 acres have production facilities on it today. So that open space in the top left corner of the screen is what we want to talk a little bit about later on in the presentation. And as Sarah mentioned, we employ about 1,200 employees at the site. That includes 400 joint venture employees, and we support about 1,000 service providers at the site as well. So this is somewhat of a busy slide. There's not going to be a test on it, so don't study it too hard. But I do think it's important to talk to you a little bit about our value chain and our products and the applications that they go into. So it starts with raw materials. These are the key feedstocks on the left-hand side that we either produce on site or purchase. Of course, our site is located in the Gulf Coast pipeline network, so it makes transportation of feedstocks and materials advantageous for us. And from there, you can see the production units and the products, the applications that our products go into. Our products go into things that you likely use every day: cosmetics, personal care products, soaps, detergents, textiles for clothing or carpet, as well as a wide variety of derivative products, including lubrication, metalworking fluids, surfactants, coatings, and applications such as that. So now I want to talk to you a little bit about our future plans. In 2021, Sasol announced plans to decarbonize our operations and reduce our greenhouse gas emissions 30% by 2030. We plan on doing that through a few avenues. The first avenue is through either direct or virtual renewable power purchases. So we're currently in a feasibility process on a virtual power purchase agreement project that would supply virtual power for the U.S. operations for Sasol. That would include options for wind and solar power purchases to support our operations. The second would be through process optimization. So Sasol recently announced that we're using the artificial intelligence company called Emissions AI. This is the first time that this technology has been used in the chemical manufacturing sector. It was originally designed for use in complex oil and gas facilities. This technology, as I mentioned, is artificial intelligence, and it evaluates your energy usage and your emissions and helps identify opportunities to reduce CO2 emissions as well as improve your energy efficiency. The third lever is CCUS, that's carbon capture, usage, and sequestration. Sasol, we plan to use CCUS to turn carbon into chemicals and fuels. This could mean utilizing CCUS on our existing facilities or making sure that future developments have CCUS capabilities there. And finally, the fourth lever that we plan to use is advanced technologies such as blue and green hydrogen. These technologies will take collaboration with industry partners to advance the accelerate the adoption of these technologies. So what does that all mean? You're probably asking yourself, what does that really mean? So for Lake Charles site specifically, we believe that we can unlock further value from the site through partnering and co-location of facilities and what we would call the Sasol Sustainability Hub. And so that's the 1,000 acres that we have left to develop and that you see outlined on the screen there. Currently, we're in the process of scoping out the development of the hub, but we know we can't do this alone. So we have teams that are tasked with identifying partner companies to help build out the hub, all while ensuring our existing operation can support our existing business. Our ambition is to further develop the site over the long term into this hub with partners. So we will continue to produce the products that you and I use every day, and we'll in a way that also enables a lower carbon future. The next phase of our development will prioritize decarbonization initiatives while also ensuring the continued success of our neighboring communities. So that's the future of Sasol. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here, and we're glad to take any questions if there are any.
Councilman, any questions?
When did you look for this expansion to start?
I'm sorry?
When did you look for this, expansion to start?
Yeah, so we're in the early phases of scoping out opportunities for growth on this hub and identifying partner companies. So we're in it for the long term. We believe that this will be a long-term expansion on the site.
For the
Mr. Pryor?
Are y'all gonna use the same route, or are y'all gonna utilize that, or will it be that kind of expansion where you have to move equipment across the city?
Talking about the heavy haul
Yes.
route. So we know that this is gonna be a series of much smaller projects. It's not gonna be another mega project. But certainly, yeah, so as these projects come on, we'll be working with you guys, we'll be working with the parish to determine if new traffic impact analysis is needed, those sorts of things. But we know it's gonna be a very different experience than the mega project.
Any other questions? Thank you. I need a motion to receive report for presentation. Motion by Mr. Ruggio, second. Mr. Harrison. Thank you all so much. All in favor? Thank you. Motion carried. Item B. Need a motion and a second to approve, disapprove resolution 3643, a resolution authorizing Hatton Miller, Mayor of Westlake, to execute a certificate of substantial completion on notice by acceptance work performed by HD Truck and Tractor LLC for the National Golf Club Louisiana Hole 14 drainage improvements, MA project number 8B210298. I need a motion. I got a motion by Mr. Ruggio and a second by Mr. Harrison. Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that motion carries. C, a motion and a second to disapprove introducing ordinance number 1018. An ordinance for the purpose of soliciting online bids through govdeal.com to dispose of obsolete and unnecessary properties and equipment belonging to the city of Westlake. A motion by, you said that, I need a motion by Mr. Harrison, and a second, Ms. Peterson. Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, motion carries. D, need a motion and a second to approve or disapprove introducing ordinance number 1910, an ordinance authorizing Howard Middle Mayor, City of Westlake, to execute all cash sale deeds transferring certain properties within the corporate limits of the City of Westlake, Louisiana, to John Perry in consideration of a $1,000 providing for an advertisement of the same, providing for the objection to the proposed sale. The property is adjacent to Lot 31 of Augusta Village. I need a motion by Mr. Brown, to a second by Mr. Ruggio to approve. Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, motion carries. I need a motion and a second to approve or disapprove appointing Johnny Conrad to the Westlake Real Estate Board to replace Derek Benoit. Need a motion? Motion by Ms. Peterson, second by Mr. Pryor to approve. Any discussion? Any objection? Under discussion, Mr. Conrad, right there, former city councilman in Kima. He's gonna be a real added attribute to being on that committee. Thank you, Mr. Conrad. That motion carries. Item F, I need a motion and a second to approve, disapprove adopting a behavior policy for the golf course and the max. Let me reset that. I need a motion by Mr. Harrison.
Motion to approve.
Second by Mr. Ruggio. Discussion? Ms. Peterson.
Once adopted tonight, approved this, we are executing this officially tomorrow. This begins tonight, is that correct?
Yes. And basically what we're doing is we're coming in with a behavior policy for the golf course and related facilities. As a public entity, we have to have these type of documents in place to make sure that we take care of our guests and our visitors to the golf course, and we also have appeals rights. If we had somebody that got out of hand, we have all that set forward, that this proposal here for these policies will make sure that the behavior at the max is professional, and we don't have any problems there. So we'll have these policies in place today. Any other discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, that motion carries. Item G, need a motion and second to approve or disapprove resolution 3644, resolution authorizing Hammond Mill and Mayor City of Westlake to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement between the City of Westlake and the Recreation District 1 of Ward 4, Calcasieu Parish, for producing comprehensive golf program to the citizens of Westlake and District 1, and to execute any and all documents there within. Reset that. Need a motion? Motion by Mr. Brown, second by Mr. Cryer. To approve. To approve. Any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, item G carries. Need a motion and second to approve or disapprove appointing, this item here. I need a motion to table that.
Motion to table.
Motion. Let's sit there, Joe.
Clayton.
Motion by Mr. Russo, second by Mr. Brown. Any discussion, any objection, that item is tabled. Under updates, Mr. Myers, update on city projects.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. First project is the Johnstein Road improvements. It's nice to say that the final inspection has been done with LTD of OD. Was held, a bunch of list items were in the process of being completed on the project as we stand. It is nice to be able to drive down it. Secondly, the next project is Foster Lane and Jones Street Sewer Extension. This project has been completed by Williams Construction. We had one property owner where they cut his electrical line, but we're in the process, or they may have corrected it by now, but it is definitely going to be taken care of to the satisfaction of the property. And the next project is you just accepted the National Golf Club, the hole number 14, that was just completed, and it's been accepted by your action tonight. Moving on to the next project is the Westlake 2022 drainage improvements. This was the procurement of the 60-inch pipe. We were able to acquire 1,470 feet of 60-inch diameter pipe, and it is now in storage at the golf course, and waiting for the next action to get an installation contract. Next project is the Garfield drainage improvements. This has been under suspension, but we're now back in the design phase, so within the next several months, we'll be able to be reporting on the next issue on that about letting the contract. The sanitary sewer equalization system, that is the $7.5 million project to enlarge our treatment capability, and we're plans and specs have been submitted to the health department, and we still don't have all the funding, but that one of the projects that has been submitted to the state for this year's action is to acquire the balance of funds. Next project is the Jones Street Water Plant ground storage tank. This was funded by a state grant of $575,000. The holdup on this is LDH requires a study of our water system on the metering system. I don't think we have a problem there. It's just a problem across the state. I don't know if this is a way to suspend action and giving out money, is by many other communities have the same problem, not getting this rate study done, which actually DHH is going to do. So we have no control over that timing. Some suspect that that's just a way to hold the money for a little long before they release it. Next project is the Ponderosa Parkway. That's where we hope to run the road all the way from National drive to Hollis Road and, be adjacent to the development that's going on right now. And, that's about a $7 million project. That's currently under review by the Metropolitan Planning Organization, and it'll take a few, months before this is authorized, but they will proceed with it, and then we'll be able to, the state will fund 75% of that, cost, so, and then we think we have a commitment on the other 25%. Miscellaneous project is your I-10 bridge, and as you all know, we had a successful, hearing on the bridge. And good news about that is it's got the grade separation, but we wouldn't have to stop at those taking tracks. And, people say, well, it might be a little inconvenient. I said, well, we're used to the inconvenience, so a few more years, during construction will not probably phase most people in Westlake. But it is gonna be a great asset once it develops. And I think, I don't know if you noticed, but, Sean Wilson retired as the, Secretary of DOTD, with a lot of speculation of what he's gonna do in the future, but, the project is on track, and they will be, supposed to be awarding a project, a contract here during this actual year. I think everybody's got their fingers crossed, but if it doesn't happen this year, all I can say is it's gonna take a long time. Hopefully that will process. We'll make a comment where we have developed the, economic development district, which is along the river, and, that would be working with, Caesar's Entertainment, Horseshoe, and hopefully that could be developed along with the construction of the new proposed bridge. We are working with the state. We submitted, a number of projects, and we sat down with the, governor's staff. I think we only had, 45 projects on our, what we call our wish list, about $45 million. And we didn't say we'd get them all funded, but we at least give them the option to fund them. So hopefully, Westlake will be able to secure some added grant money for developing new projects this coming year. That completes my report, Mayor.
Any of the council have any questions for Mr. Myers? Hearing none, we'll go to item B. Mr. King, an update on clubhouse or any other projects you may be working on?
Yes, sir, we, on the clubhouse, I think we finalized the, as far as the ductwork, contractors gone in there and helped, update the openings for cleaning. I think that brings that to a close, hopefully. Bernard mentioned something about the economical development district. I think we met with you guys a couple weeks ago. We're putting together a presentation for y'all. We're preliminary working on it right now, and we're just running with it. And I'll be meeting with you, and we'll bring some updates on what we've got. But we're gonna do an aerial fly through of the whole thing, keep getting y'all's ideas, what y'all wanna do, and go from there.
Any other questions? Any questions from Mr. King? Here's on item C. It's grass cutting time of the year right now. It's illegal to blow grass clippings on the road. We're trying to get our storm drains cleaned out. We've got a special project on that, and I hope the citizens of Westlake will cooperate with us on that. Also, too, a reminder of the trash cans, try to remove them within 24 hours after them being emptied. With that being said, item 6, monthly work orders, reports for all departments. So I need a motion second on, to hear the reports. I need a motion for discussion on reports. Motion by Mr. Pryor, second by Mr. Peterson. With that being said, first up is our chief of police, Mr. Wheelwright.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Present you a handout. Look, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll do my best to answer them.
Any questions for the chief? Ms. Peterson?
Chief, you have, someone patrolling I-10 now?
Yes, we do. He's, started a
Yeah,
couple
you
weeks
do.
ago. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions by the council? Thank you. Item 2, hear from the fire department. Chief Duff.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm gonna stand up here so I feel tall today. So the fire department, we've been pretty busy. I've actually got Andre because we've got now to pull up our Facebook page. I don't know if everybody realizes that we have this. Let's see if I can go back without messing anything up.
Click that away.
But we ran a little over 100 calls this last month. One of them was up towards the Ward 6 area, which is around DeQuincy, and there was a fatality. So I wanted to take this opportunity to remind everybody in the city that the fire department gives out smoke detectors. We also will go to your house and install smoke detectors. We do that on a regular basis. We've got a kit that we use. Ladders, drills, all the stuff to go out and do that professionally, and we've got guys that have been doing that for quite some time.
Excuse me, Chief.
Yes, sir.
That's very important. Repeat that one more time at no expense to the people of Westlake.
Yes, so this is something that we have been doing for about the past 15 years. We try to find somebody, we've done this with Lowe's, we've done it with Home Depot. Right now we're doing it with the Louisiana State Fire Marshal's office. They're pushing CO detectors in every home, especially for things like hurricane season, when you hook up a generator to your house. So they're pushing that, and so we've always got them. They don't cost anything. It doesn't cost anything to come out. You just come by, you schedule it, tell us when's a good time. We send guys out and get it taken care of. So if you ask around and look around, there's a lot of people that have them. We go to a lot of calls where we notice detectors that we've installed over the years. The ones we have right now have a 10-year battery in them. So you get them put in your house, in 10 years, you can call us. I may or may not be there, but they'll, they come down and you just put a new one in. So there's no more of the, when time changes, change your batteries. It's an easy peasy 10-year at a time smoke detectors, and who knows what they'll have in another 10 years. If you look up here, we just took, these are some trucks that we've been waiting on for quite some time. New units to the fire department. We're just getting them back from Louisiana Radio. They all got equipped out. So you'll see we've got 3 F-250s and we've got a 350 that's used for special operations. It's got a winch on the front, and that's going to be attached to our boat and our special operation guys and what they're doing. So these are what they look like. You see them out in town, make sure to wave. See what else we got here. There we go. Like I said, it's this Facebook thing. We're working real hard. I've got guys much younger than me that are running this for us. Because we're trying to get all this information out before we have meetings. Here you go. So this is one that we've been kind of following along. We just got word this last week. Our 2 guys that we had in an advanced EMT class, both passed on the first go round. So Westlake is the first department in Southwest Louisiana to have advanced EMTs. We're working with our medical director, who is Dr. George, here locally on some very advanced and very cutting edge technology. We're going over new policies and procedures with him because basically he is the one who tells us what we can and can't do because we practice under his license. But some of the things that they're going to be able to do is start IVs. There's certain drugs that we can carry now, so you don't have to wait for the ambulance. We can treat patients, package patients, and all the ambulance has to do is get there, load them up, and then haul off with them. Long term, we're looking at getting a couple of these guys to the paramedic level, but advanced EMT was a good stop. It only took a couple of months. It didn't cost us a fortune, and it's a good taste. So Captain Michael Sear and Lieutenant Daniel Brown. Michael Sear is actually a combat medic. He's just getting back from Syria, so he's used to doing a lot of this stuff already. And Lieutenant Daniel Brown is one of the heads of our special operation team. So young guys, they spend a lot of time on their own at the station. They're really dedicated to the city of Westlake. And I wanted to make sure I ended on, this is a cute little story for everybody. So yesterday, Mr. Jerry called me out at the golf course and said, hey, we have an owl, and we think it's hurt, we need y'all to come help. So, you know, I told him, hey, give me a few minutes, I've got to make phone calls, I know nothing about this. The guys went out and picked up this what is a baby horned owl. We brought it to the fire station. We got with a pet, there it is right there, Acadian Wildlife Rehab Center. They're out of Youngsville, Louisiana. So we made contact with them, made arrangements to bring the owl to them. And they said, hey, before you do that, send us a picture of it so we know what kind of cage it needs. And when we sent the pictures, they said, hey, that's a baby. It probably fell out of a tree. It needs to go back to where it's at if it's not injured. So we checked it the best you could. She promised us that the beak and the talons weren't scary because it was a baby. And I don't know if you can see this, but the thing has talons. So it was clicking and hissing, and you know, it was very unhappy until we've got a nice, this is top of the line milk crate from Fine here out of that. And we were able to go put it back. Yeah, it worked. And there's my two guys who were on duty that volunteered to come with me and excuse my uniform. It was a Sunday. You know, I was off, but I couldn't get them involved in something like that without you know, going out there. So if you'd like to see it, it's on the golf cart path. I'm sure Mr. Jerry will sell you a golf outing for the day. It may or may not be there, so you know, if you don't see it tomorrow.
Is it still there, Jerry?
It's gone. But there's no damage.
Yeah,
There's no
so-
like feathers or anything.
So what you got to know about this is the horned owls live 20 to 30 years. They mate for life, and this baby was right about at the point where it can climb up and down the tree, and it can move around. So at the base of the tree, there was plenty of food because the parents had been feeding it since it fell, because I mean, it is a predator. So there was all kinds of carnage. Chances are it climbed back up the tree, and it'll go down when it wants to eat. It'll free roam, so you probably catch a glimpse of it. I don't know too many things that eat owls. Usually it's the other way around, so I wouldn't worry too much about the owl. But like I said, if you want to go look for it, Mr. Jerry will sell you around the golf. That'll make Mr. Jerry happy, and you can go check the owl out. So that's my report.
Any questions? Any questions? Excellent report, Chief Lowry. It's not a competition, but that was an excellent. So, hey, on the Public Works report, I want y'all to keep our Public Works Director, Doug Fleming. He's been in the hospital the last few days. Keep him in your prayers and thoughts, and I believe he's going to get out here and he'll be back to work shortly after that, hopefully. But y'all keep our Public Works Director in your prayers, please. With that being said, Director of Golf, Jerry Pocket, if you come to the mic.
First, Don, I'd like to thank you for your help yesterday, because I had no idea what to do with owls.
Yeah, we all learned something.
And you're right about something else. It does feel like I'm taller when I say
I'm right.
I need it more than you probably. So, it was good to see good weather. We finally, spring is here, and with it comes a real busy golf season. We had, this weekend, we had our best daily play revenue of the history of our club, and it's the first weekend at golf. We've done a lot of good things on the golf course, worked hard to build our business. Chance Walker, our superintendent's done a great job getting that course in shape, and our popularity keeps growing. We've never had a day with just off daily fee. We've had some tournaments that bring in good revenue, but in terms of daily fee golf and golf balls and stuff they buy in the pro shop, we've never had 10,000 day in the 9 years I've been here, and we averaged over 10,000 this weekend. So hopefully that's a sign of good things to come. In addition to that, I can't say enough about Chance and his staff. Chance went out, and this winter we've got another course in the area that's come close to losing their greens. When we had that cold spell, Chance knew right away. He went out and he iced the greens, made sure there was a good protective cover on there. It protected the Bermuda grass underneath. Our greens came out perfectly, and it's good to have a guy like Chance on our team. Coming up this next month, we're working hard at, some changes in the max. We're gonna upgrade our menus and specialties, should be coming out the second half of this month, but we're getting to work on that and, looking forward to a busy year there too. Coming up in March, we have several events, we have a club event, the St. Pat's Tournament. It's a 4-ball. It's scheduled for March 11th. It's still St. Pat's. We're gonna celebrate it then. You might ask, why isn't it on the 17th? And that's because we have a longtime partner, the Junior Achievement, had already booked the date on the 17th. And it's a double shotgun and one of the best events out of the year. If you haven't seen it or played it before, you might wanna look into that. And then on March 31st, we have the Sunshine Cup. This benefits the Children's Museum. So we have some really good events this month. Those of you who golf, look online and consider coming out and joining us. That's it.
Any questions by the council? Hearing none, thank you, Jerry.
Okay.
I'd like to hear from our Director of Finance, Mr. Milburn.
Well, this is gonna be exciting. No, I don't have, I can't compete, sorry. But it was a good report he gave about the weekend. Your financial statements are in front of you, cash report, and the financial statements are behind the cash report. I'll be glad to answer any questions now or at any time in the future.
Do the council have any questions? No? No questions. Then I need a motion and a second to approve or disapprove accepting the report and recommendation. Motion? Mr. Fryer to approve. Need a second? Mr. Brown. Is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none. I need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Brown, second. All in favor? Say aye. We stand adjourned.
Well done.